So hello, welcome back to this video. My name is Sagar Pandey and today we are going to discuss about the AWS and its cloud services model. Okay, so we are not going to directly jump on the AWS. Firstly, we are going to be discuss about the cloud services, because when the people hear the term cloud services, there is a myth related with that. I am going to clear that myth in this video. And the second thing, why cloud is introduced, what is the failure of the traditional approach and why cloud is introduced, we are going to discuss about that in this video. Third thing is, what is AWS, Amazon Web Services, that was provided by the Amazon. We are going to be discuss about that, and the very important concept, models of the AWS, that is IaaS, AAS, PaaS, PaaS and SaaS, SaaS. Okay, we are going to discuss all about that. So let us start with the cloud services. So as I can told you, there is a myth related with this word. So what is the myth? Many people think that key cloud services only related with the service of storage, like it can be only provide you a storage facility in order to store your data or any files on the internet over the cloud. But it is not the truth. Why? Because it is not only used for storage, it can also be used for creating your own application, maintaining a database, creating a database, or you can build your own application with the use of the cloud services, right? It can also be used to maintain a service or create your own servers, right? So this was all the things that you can do with the help of the cloud services. If you want to see a definition, now you can see from here. Cloud services refer to the delivery of the computing resources such as servers, storage, databases and networking software and more over the internet, right? So let us discuss about the why cloud is introduced. Before proceeding why cloud is introduced, we are going to be discuss about what happens at that time when cloud was not introduced. So when cloud was not introduced, at that time we peoples or business persons can have to maintain their server rooms, and it is a common observation. You can see in your colleges, in your schools, that there is a server room which looks like this, as you can see in this picture. कुछ ऐसा दिखाई देता था आपका server room, and in that server room there is a lots of cables, there is a lots of wires, which are very complex task to maintain, or it is a very tough task to maintain that server room, right? And from these servers rooms, all the data and all the internet facilities, all things is maintained from these server rooms. These server rooms are not easy to build for all the person, right? So the cloud services were introduced. These, with the help of these cloud services, one single person can maintain a server room, a big data center, and from this big data center they can distribute a cloud services to each and everyone, so that the people who did not have a knowledge about the cloud and the data center, how to build a server room, those persons can also use the cloud services, right? So this is the reason why cloud is introduced. You can read it from in this slide. So when cloud is introduced, it can improve the scalability, it can reduce the cost, because in maintaining a server room there is a lot of cost, is introduced. So after introducing cloud, the cost was reduced, right? And it can also be helpful in a global reach. What is a global reach? You can access your data anytime, anytime, anywhere, from any part of inside the world, right? Now we are going to be discuss about the AWS, because we are reading about the cloud, we are learning about the cloud, and when we are learning about the cloud, it is a very important for us to discuss about the AWS, because AWS is a very popular cloud service, and it is a stand on AWS, Amazon Web Services, which is offered by the Amazon company, right? So it is why it is important to learn or discuss about that, because it is used for large scale business models. When you can make a large application, or you can make a big application for any businesses, for any organization, then AWS are very helpful for you. No company can compete with these services, not only at this time but after 10 or 20 years after that. No other services of cloud can compete with this AWS, Amazon Web Services. It can offer you a variety of features, or it can offers you many of the facilities like scalability, cost. It can be cost as per as required. APAR as per as required. You can only pay to those facilities that you are going to be used. You cannot pay of the facility that you don't use, right? The next thing is storage. By saying it as storage, it can allows you storage facility. You can store your media files, you can store audio, videos, etc over the cloud, and you can access it whenever you have to require. If you want to see a definition, then you can see from here. AWS is a comprehensive cloud computing platform offered by Amazon. It provides a wide range of services like databases, storage, analytics, security, and more. Now we are going to discuss about the models of the AWS. That was the most important topic of this video. You can understand all the things from this image, but before proceeding with this image, let me first introduce about the models of the AWS. There are three most popular models of the AWS, that is IaaS, infrastructure as a services, PaaS, platform as a services, and SaaS, software as a services. Three most important model of the AWS. Let us discuss this one by one with the help of a simple example. I can explain you everything, right? So let us start with the infrastructure as a services, IaaS. So let me introduce an example to understand IaaS, infrastructure as a services. Suppose that you want to write a code in C++, but you did not have a compiler to execute it. You did not have a compiler software like a VS Code. You don't have a Visual Studio Code, and your system is not capable to install a Visual Studio Code on the computer. So what you can do? The first thing that you can go on a Google and simply write online C++ compiler, and you can go on any online compiler like programmist.com or onecompiler.com and simply paste your code and execute it successfully. So what you can understand with this example, you did not need to install a Visual Studio Code or a C++ compiler on your system. You can simply use the compiler that is provided to you online on the internet, and with the use of that compiler you are able to successfully execute your code on the system. So there is a similar thing related with the IaaS, infrastructure as a services. In this services, the cloud providers can provide you the virtualized computing resources. It can be provide you the online storage facility. It can be provide you the facility by using which you can create a database, you can maintain your database, manage your database for some time, right? So this is IaaS. Okay, so next going with the PaaS, platform as a services, understanding with that similar example, you have a code in a C++ and you did not have a compiler to execute it, and your system is not capable to install a Visual Studio Code on it. So what you can do? The first thing that you can do is you can go on an online compiler and you can type on a Google simply online compiler of that language, and go on any online compiler and execute your code successfully. The next thing that you can do is make your own compiler. But again, if your system is not capable to install a Visual Studio, so how it can be capable to make a compiler? So your system is again not capable to make that compiler, but you can use some services that can offer you some tools, and by using that tools you can make your own compiler. Like you can make your own compiler in that can run your code successfully, right? So this was the possible through PaaS, platform as a services, that was again offered by AWS. Here you can read that what do you get? You can get a virtual development platform and tools for creating, testing, and deployment your application. You don't need to set up the environment on your own system. You can get all the environment that was used for creating any application, testing any application, and deploying your application. You can get all these things over the AWS, right? Over the AWS, and this comes under PaaS, platform as a services. Now jumping on the third thing, software as a services, SaaS. So now we are going to discuss about with the same example, that is the example of our code C++ that was written in a C++ language. So again, you have a code in C++ language and you want to execute it. The first thing that you can do is you can go on the Google and you can type the online C++ compiler, and you are going to be paste on your code on that online compiler and successfully execute it. The second thing that you can do is you can make your own compiler. And what is the third thing that you can do is let us think there is a person who did not have a knowledge how the compiler is to be created. Then what he can do? So simply he can go on the AWS and telling their requirement and telling their each and every requirement to the AWS, and AWS can create the compiler on their own and run deploy it successfully. And all the things like it testing, it deploying, its creation is managed by AWS. User has to be worried about nothing, right? So here you can see it, user control is nothing, user have to be worried about nothing. All the things are managed by the AWS, and this was comes under the software as a services. So this was all about the models of the AWS, that is IaaS, PaaS and SaaS. So I hope I can do clear you about all of these models, all of these services with the help of my example. So thank you so much for watching this video.